And switch now to 7-2.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Elspeth, Hussey.
Good afternoon. First to breaking news, and major crime detectives are right now at the scene of a double murder at Rosewater. A 76-year-old mother and her 55-year-old son were found deceased in their Rosetta Street home just before 1:30 this afternoon. Tragically, it was another family member who made the gruesome discovery. Our cameras were there as a 43-year-old neighbour was taken into custody. He'll be charged with 2 counts of murder.
The relationship between the suspect and the occupants of that address is unknown. It is suspected that they were known to each other, but at this stage we don't know what that relationship was.
Police are yet to reveal an alleged motive, but say the victims suffered significant injuries. We'll have the very latest on this shocking story in our main news hour at 6 o'clock. A teenage motorcyclist has been killed in a crash in the state's southeast. He was riding along a rural road at Glenroy, north of Penola, around 8:20 last night when he lost control. The 18-year-old local man died at the scene. Major crash officers closed the road for several hours while investigations took place. He's the 6th person to lose their life on our roads this year, compared to 13 this time last year. Australia's oldest person has died in residential care in Adelaide, aged 111. Katarina van der Linden, who migrated from the Netherlands in 1955, passed away on Australia Day. The super centenarian's advice for a long life was to stay fit and enjoy a glass of champagne.
I said to Miss van der Linden when I had the chance to meet her, she should raise her bat every day. Just to watch her mobility and also her sharpness of mind, even at that age, was an inspiration.
She's survived by 4 children, 10 grandchildren and 16 great-grandchildren. 15 South Australian children have had to be hospitalised with severe sunburn, sparking an urgent warning from doctors. As Tom Johnson reports, there are fears SA's mild summer has caught many off guard.
A warning from health experts on the eve of World Cancer Day as the number of presentations for severe sunburn spikes. While many at the beach today were heeding sun safety advice, the Women's and Children's Hospital says it's had more presentations for severe sunburn in the last 6 weeks than it has over entire summers in previous years.
A lot of them have required sedation to clean the burn and then adequately dress the burn, so yes, it's very painful.
Elvina Benici knows how crucial sun safety is. She needed treatment for melanoma in her 30s after spending much of her childhood out in the sun.
We weren't reckless and careless, but it would have been those sunburns when you haven't reapplied sunscreen, etc. Every summer in the sun you get a sunburn as a child in the 90s, and so it was just those mild burns that led to this.
The advice is to keep fluids up, apply sunscreen regularly, even when you're in the shade, to wait 20 minutes after putting sunscreen on before you go outside or in the water, and to make sure you cover easy-to-miss areas like feet and ears.
Maybe there is a decrease in messaging to the community that it's really important through the day to cover up. Perhaps it's the fact that we've had a milder summer this year than other years that has led to people feeling that they've got some degree of safety when they go out to the sun.
Got to slip, slop, slap and make sure you don't get skin cancer.
Here I am under the shade right now. I've got the sunscreen on, so I like to take it seriously, yes.
With temperatures expected to reach the mid-30s tomorrow, we're being urged to stay cool and covered, especially during the hottest part of the day.
Dozens of customers have been caught up in the collapse of a Western Suburbs furniture company. Just the Thing Furniture Warehouse informed staff last week it had gone into liquidation, with the business's Beverley warehouse cleared the following day. Owner Jason Dunn has told 7 News all aspects of the business are being handled by the liquidators, which includes customers' outstanding orders. It's understood a sponsorship deal between the retailer and Baseball SA has also ceased. A liquidator is now contacting affected clients. Anthony Albanese has spent the day on the hustings in Melbourne, campaigning for Labor's candidate for the looming Dunkley by-election. It's a seat where the cost of living is biting, and the vote will be the first real test of Labor's revamp of the Stage 3 tax cuts. Rob Scott has more.
When federal parliament returns next week after the summer break, Labor's focus will be on shoring up support for its controversial tax shake-up. Anthony Albanese used last night's campaign launch for Gertie in Dunkley to spruik the benefits of the plan.
Low and middle income earners are going to have a significantly better tax cut.
A mortgage belt seat, the Dunkley by-election is being framed as a referendum on Labor's rewrite of the Stage 3 tax cuts. 87% of workers in the Bayside seat will receive a bigger cut under the plan.
If you identify where cost of living pressures are, you can't just wring your hands and whine about it and complain like Peter Dutton and the Coalition do. You've got to do something about it.
His only solution won't hit for another 5 months. These families have been hurting for so long, not only in Dunkley but around the country.
Wedged on the issue, Peter Dutton has all but confirmed he will wave the changes through, not wanting to be seen to be trying to take away money from Middle Australia. But he'll keep hammering the government over its broken promise.
It's one that people punish you for if they don't like it. But if it's one which says we're going to put more money in your back pocket every payday, that's a broken promise that people can live with.
The by-election was triggered by the death of former MP Peter Murphy, who died in December from cancer. The Prime Minister unveiling a breast imaging suite at the Frankston Hospital today, named in her honour, and announcing $1.5 million to start building a national registry for metastatic cancers. Voters in Dunkley will go to the polls on March the 2nd, which just happens to be the Prime Minister and the Treasurer's birthdays, both hoping the result doesn't spoil their party.
A young boy is in hospital after he was bitten by a dingo on the Queensland island of K'gari. The attack on the child marks the 4th in as many weeks. He was taken from Kingfisher Bay Resort to Harvey Bay Hospital for treatment. Visitors are being reminded to travel in groups. The US has carried out a series of air attacks in Iraq and Syria and promised more as retribution for the drone strike that killed 3 of its soldiers. The move risks escalating the Middle East conflict. Here's US correspondent Tim Lester.
For most of the past week, the Biden administration has been promising to answer the deaths of 3 Army reservists in the Middle East. Today, long-range US bombers flew all the way from Texas to lead the assault. The US hitting 85 targets across 7 sites in Iraq and Syria. Precision-guided munitions used to destroy militia bunkers, command and intelligence centres, and drone and ammunition depots. The strikes lasted just 30 minutes, but the President says this is just the start of retribution for last week's attack on an American base in Jordan. Our response began today, President Biden said in a statement. It will continue at times and places of our choosing. Let all those who might seek to do us harm know this: if you harm an American, we will respond. Earlier, Mr. Biden had stood in silence as the bodies of the 3 Americans killed in Jordan were returned to US soil. The attack almost a political necessity for President Biden, given the pressure he's been under here to respond firmly. It runs risks, though. It could even fire the very broader Mideast war that Joe Biden says he's trying to prevent.
Tim Lester reporting there. A family car has gone up in flames on the Gold Coast. The ferocity of the blaze woke the owners, who alerted emergency services. Family members say it's not the first time they've been targeted, with thieves trying to get into the utes' toolbox and other vehicles. Investigations are continuing. Former Premier Stephen Marshall has been accused of leaving the people of Dunstan in limbo. After the break, pressure grows on him to confirm when he'll exit from Parliament. That's coming up next. Also, a lucky escape. Residents help a trio of teens from a fiery car crash. And demands for justice after an ill-advised fuel theft caused a deadly gas blast.
There's only one thing tougher than taking on one chaser.
And that's taking on 2.
Monday at 5.
Double the chasers.
Double the fun.
Think you can take on 2 chasers at once?
Better study up.
Because you're about to get tested.
The Chase. Double Trouble. Monday on 7 and 7+.
The new Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra with Galaxy AI is here. Score a bonus Galaxy Tab S9 FE worth $949 when you pre-order today on Australia's best mobile network. Find out more in-store or online.
When you're building a new home, it's important to know what you're up for when it comes to price. That's why my mates at Weeks now offer a price certainty guarantee. Build with confidence, it's guaranteed at Weeks.
Hey, want to try something sick? Trust me, you need to check out the Big Wedgie Inflatable Water Park. They've got stacks of awesome slides. There's Big Wedgie and Big Chucker for the absolute thrill seekers, Little Wedgie for the little tuckers, and Just Right Wedgie for the ones in between. Open all summer in Gold Coast and Adelaide. For all the deets, go to thebigwedgie.com.au. You'll be spewing if you miss it.
Meet Justine and Michael, who've both been sleeping better ever since they started sleeping on their Emma mattresses and beds. Find your Emma and awaken your best at emma-sleep.com.au.
I'm not old. You're just younger than me.
Age won't stop me doing what I want, it just makes me more discerning. And that's why I choose Meals on Wheels. Great food and great people.
Mawson Lakes Mazda's 2023 Play Clearance Sale is on now. Discover amazing deals across the entire range, including free on-road costs on all cars. That's right, free on-road costs across the entire Mazda range. Hurry in to find your perfect model and colour. The sooner you get to the showroom, the better your chance of scoring your dream car. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city, Salisbury Highway.
Pressure is building on Stephen Marshall to formally resign from Parliament. The former Premier announced he'd be quitting politics more than 10 days ago, but Labor claims he's now delaying a by-election in the state's most marginal seat of Dunstan.
This is becoming farcical by the Liberal Party now. It's becoming a bit of a joke. And they need to just be serious about what they're doing to the people of Dunstan.
3 candidates have been pre-selected in almost record time, but a date for the by-election can't be set until Marshall officially moves on. 3 teenagers have been rushed to hospital after their car crashed into a tree and burst into flames in Sydney. The trio is now in a stable condition thanks to some quick-thinking locals. Amy Clements reports.
Good afternoon. Well, somehow 3 teenagers here in Roselands managed to survive this very serious crash. Those inside the burning Subaru were aged between 17 and 18, all with serious chest injuries.
I was the one that pulled them out of the car. Traumatic. Oh yeah, especially when there's a young kid in the back yelling, saying, you know, starting to catch on fire.
These are the moments before the crash. 2 cars fly by, then come to a crashing halt. The teen's car hit a tree and landed nose down.
It was burning. It's making a couple of pops as if it was going to blow, so, you know, there's people running around here a bit frantic.
Those driving along King George's Road pulled over. Some ran to help, with fears that the fire could spread to surrounding homes.
So there was a lot of emergency vehicles all around here. They just blocked off the whole road and then they stopped all access. You know, even told us to get back inside and move the crowd up the road. 1
passenger was taken to hospital in a critical condition. The others are stable. How the 18-year-old female driver lost control is being investigated. Police today collected the group's belongings as evidence. The driver of the second car, a 28-year-old man, was uninjured but was taken to hospital for mandatory drug and alcohol testing.
Kenya's Deputy President has said those responsible for a deadly gas explosion in the country's capital will be held accountable. 3 people died and nearly 300 have been injured. The truck carrying gas cylinders exploded on Thursday, igniting a huge ball of fire. Emergency services are still searching the ruins for bodies. A floating sauna has come to the rescue of two people after their Tesla plunged into icy waters. The electric car became submerged within minutes. The sauna, which was on a floating platform, arrived just in time, with guests on board pulling the driver and passenger to safety as the car disappeared. It's understood the driver mistakenly hit the accelerator. And Apple has released its first new product in 7 years, with fans flocking to its flagship New York store to get their hands on a Vision Pro headset. The mixed reality device allows users to watch immersive videos and interact with surroundings, but they don't come cheap, coming in at more than $5,000 each. You can also purchase a raft of accessories, including prescription lens inserts. Well, there you go. Well, ABBA is here next with sport, including Steve Smith putting on a show to give the Aussies a series lead against the Windies. And the Socceroos' Asian Cup dream comes to a disappointing end.